All right, we are currently live. All right, currently live at the moment. Just hope people can hear me, listen to me, right? And then I'll get started in just a bit. Yeah. Okay, guys, can you hear me? Just help me type yes, right? Just help me type yes, right? And then I'll get started in just a little bit, right? Just a little bit, and then we can go, right? 60 days left, right? We have 60 days left to the end of the year. Right? It's an exciting time, right? And then we are gonna go, right? Guys, have you can hear me? Just let me type yes, right? Let me like this post, get more people to come, because I have some really exciting things to share with you all, right? Some interesting topics, right? And I'm very excited. And hey, if we have time, right? If we have time, right, we're going to talk a bit about my thoughts on the US elections, right? As just generally, right? Whether is it from business and investor, right? Just going to share a bit about what I feel. My thoughts, my general thoughts on elections between Mr. Biden and Trump as well. So guys, you can hear me. Tell me type yes. We get started in about 4 minutes time. We get started in about 4 minutes time. We get started at 8:30 direct. And like I said, right, straight away, right, half an hour sharing, right, we're going to go very quickly, just specific action plans that people can use anytime, right? Instead of just going for theories, concepts, I'm going to go direct straight to the point. So we're going to start in about 3 minutes time, right? We're going to start totally on time, and we're going to go right after that. Okay. All right. So a few things that we're going to talk about, all right, that we just want to. Okay, just going to wait just a couple of more minutes before I continue. All right, Kunle says loud and clear. Yeah, I just saw the comment. That was pretty delayed, right? Hi, Rodrigo. What's up, man? Right, hi, Kunle. Right, I hope I pronounced it correctly. So we're gonna get started very quickly. So just hang tight. In 2 minutes more, right, we get started, and then we'll keep going and moving forward with this. Just a big time, right? Just a PDA, just a quick reminder for those out there, right? We are, right, that right now the market will open at only 10:30 p.m., right? So unfortunately, it's not 9:30 p.m. anymore. It's 10:30 p.m. So people have to stay a bit late. So that for whoever those who are maybe in 3 a.m. club, it becomes a 4 a.m. club. So all the best, right? For me, I'm just personally sleeping, right? But yeah, a bit. Yeah, I wish we had opened earlier so I can sleep earlier, right? Because I do look at the markets right now; it's very volatile. But yeah, so right now it's 10:30 p.m., right? So it kind of affects with some sleeping time, I suppose. Okay, right. So two more quick minutes, and then I'll get started right away. Right. Reminder, guys. There's a lot of live trading sessions going on. All right. So register one. Just get a good sense. So even for those who might be a bit long-term investors, for example, right, might be just good just to have a sense of what the guys are doing. So you have a good idea of the in-depth, right? So some of these guys, they do the research for you. So even if I'm a long-term investor, I wouldn't say no to just attending this sort of sharing for just to learn, right? Just for the insights as well. Yeah. So one more minute before we go, and then we will get started right after that. Okay. I'm excited for today. All right, some good stuff here and some interesting lessons, right? They can use moving forward for the rest of 2021 and all. Okay. Yeah. Oh, okay. I think there's an issue. Why? Right? Because I think my default is I only share select group. Oh, I should share it publicly. Okay, I think I got it right now. So now I'm sharing it publicly. So now hopefully there's more people that come in to learn the stuff. Okay, now I get it. 1:30 a.m. Australia, bro. You should be sleeping soon. Right. Okay. Right. So it's 8:30 p.m. I'm going to get started. Regardless, there's people listening. There's not. That's fine. Right. It's my commitment to be every Monday evening. Right. No matter what the timing. Right. To be around to conduct a Mastery Monday session, sharing some of my biggest lessons, insights that can actually help people move forward. Okay. So number one. Right. So number one, I'm going to share about a huge mistake, right, that I personally felt that I overlooked, right, in the past 18 months or so, right, a huge mistake. And the thing is, right, the thing with life, right, is that when you're doing well, right, a lot of the times you feel that yeah, you just feel that you are doing well, that you don't have to learn anymore. There's nothing much to improve, right? And there's something that I felt that might have happened to me in the past couple of weeks, past couple of months, whatever you call it, right? In this space, and that is basically in terms of social media content, right? So I'm sharing my personal lessons, right? So you can learn from me directly, right? And it's that over I think last year when I first started, right, I was fresh, I was new to the space, right, I was just going all out, going my 100%, right, and so in terms of my social media, where I was crafting out posts, right, I was publishing content, right, whether it's on Facebook, Instagram, stuff like that, especially on Facebook, right, so I think my strongest social media presence is Facebook, and I was just crafting out content on the go, right? So it was not very strategic, it was not very well planned, but what happened, it got pretty good, pretty decent engagement based on what I've done, right? Reporting people's content, sharing my own story, putting nice photos, hashtags, stuff like that, right? And what happened is it went pretty well, right? I think 2019 for me in terms of my social media presence, right? Thanks to, for example, KBB, right? Affiliating a couple of products, right? It went pretty well, it grew pretty a lot, right? But I think, and especially, right, I think we had earlier this year, we had FHL, I shared with my lessons, so a big following came from there, right? COVID came, right? Extreme Wealth Summit, right? A lot of big things came to actually boost up my movement as well, right? But one thing I realized is that right now, if you can see, right, yes, I'm focusing on quality instead of quantity, right? But overall, I felt that one huge mistake I overlooked, which is that I could have been a way more strategic, right, with my social media content. Right, which I'm saying is planning some of my things I want to share in advance, right? Being more intentional, right? In kind of messages I want to give, right? In kind of branding I want to give, right? And it's not about trying to put on an image or a fake front. But what I'm thinking is, instead of every single day, right, trying to think of stuff on the spot, right? Because there are some days that I don't have what I call that inspiration or that moment of epiphany, right? To actually post and publish some of the good and quality content can really add value, right? As compared to just doing it on the fly. So my take is right now, my focus, right, for the rest of the week and the rest of the year, and even 2 to 1, right, is to be way more strategic with my social media content, right? And I do it in terms of actionable tips. So for those of you who want to be like influencers, people want to promote a bit more movement, right? Affiliate marketing, your own business owner trying to get out your personal branding, right? My very quick actionable tip, implementable tip, right, is create a calendar. It can be separate from your main calendar because I think you don't want to overflood with things. So you can create a new email calendar. Personally, I use this app called Notion. Some of you can go and check it out, right? And just craft out and just think through what are some of the content you want to share. So pre-plan, so whether it's every day, every 3 times a week, for example, and pre-plan the content that you want to give. That's number one, to be way more strategic and actually pre-plan your content. So when you actually write it, when you craft it, right, when you publish the post, right, it's not like you have to do it on the fly. Because sometimes what happened, right, so last week was a pretty busy week for me, especially I think Wednesdays and Thursdays, right, and I didn't have the energy, I didn't have the willpower or the intention to craft out some quality social media posts. And every day I'm not doing it, right, it's the day probably that I'll lose followers, I'll lose engagement, I'll not be able to reach out as many people as I want to create value. So my quick tips, number one, right, have a separate calendar and plan out some of the content you want to publish, right? So every Monday, for example, you can publish what content you want to publish for the rest of the week, for example, right? And then number two, right, what's number two in terms of content, right? Now, number two, right, is to be very to pre-plan the actual content, right? So instead of just scheduling, to actually pre-plan the actual content as well. So that's my big tip for people who want to be a bit more focused, right, on the social media space. Right, and this is just a very simple tip, but when you become more advanced, right, more experienced, right, it can lead up to a lot more advanced strategies, right, doing collaborations, right, tagging people, right, having Facebook lives together. But that's the first foremost thing that you do, which is to pre-plan your social media content and to schedule them so you know when to post it, what times, and stuff like that. Okay, so that's number one, right, for those people who want to be there. And number two, right, very quickly, number two, I'm going to show you this quick thing, right? Anybody knows what this is? Right, what does this look like? Right, I know it's all in Japanese and all, or is it Chinese? I have no idea. My Chinese isn't the best. Is it Korean or Japan? Yeah, I'm not sure myself. Right, but anyway, right, if you can guess what is this, right? It'll be pretty good because what most people think that this packet, right, is what people just say that usually this is what we call a wet tissue. Right, but it looks like a wet tissue packet, right? But if you look at it closer, right, just want you to take a look, right? It's not wet tissue, right? Something similar, but it's something I've never seen in the market, right? Which Sharon bought, my girlfriend bought, right? I thought it was brilliant. I just want to show you. And this is actually let me just put it a bit more. Yeah, it's a daily face mask, right? So this is a facial mask, right, that you can use every single day, right? So what happened is, most people, when they do facial masks, right, what they do it like maybe once every week, for example. I have no idea about ladies' facial routines, for example. I just share my own experience, right? Most people, I do it only when I'm on travel, right, or when I feel my skin is exceptionally dry, right? And so what happened is, instead of you like, so what happened is, for most packets, right, for most facial masks, is like do once every week, right? Don't have to do it every day, right? Or 2-3 times every week, the most, right? But not one that I see that tells you to do it every day. But I realized, right, instead of, let's say, going for facial once every month, right? I know ladies go for facial, some guys do it too, or doing the facial mask, right, 2 to 3 times every week, right? If you actually do this every single day, right, you make it a habit as part of your night routine, right? For example, you want to do a discharge, you want to do a listening, right? And you just wear your facial mask every single day. I personally feel that this could be actually way more effective in the long run in terms of value for money, because this is not very expensive, right? But at the same time, this could potentially be in the long run, because you're consistent every single day, right? That actually can make your skin more less dry and everything, right? So this brings me to my point, right? For a lot of actions that you want to grow, you want to improve, you want to be better at, right? Instead of trying to do one big thing once every month, right? One big thing twice every month, for example, I rather focus on what I can do every single day, because I feel it's way more effective, right, on what I want to do. So my quick tip, right, if for anything you want to grow, everything you want to improve in, right, think of what is one thing you can do every single day and put it into what I call your daily routine, your night routine, your afternoon routine, your morning routine. It's up to you. But instead of thinking of, like, for example, attending one big event every single month, think of what can you do to grow every single day, right? Instead of one-off sporadic events that the effects usually don't last very long. Because you can go for the one big event, right? You can go for one facial one every month. But if you don't do your facial routine every day, right, your skin is still going to be dry, right? What's happened to me, right? If you are going for, you're trying to be motivated once every year, right? UPW, right? But you don't do anything to up your motivation and drive every single day, you're not going to be very effective as well. Okay, so guys, if you like what I just shared, you can just type yes in the chat, right? Just want to get some sensing, right? Hopefully more people can hear. Right? Type yes in the chat, like the video, that would mean so much to me, right? If you felt that this was pretty good, and I'm going to share with my next thing that can be really, really beneficial for you guys. Okay. Okay, right. So last week, right, I was reflecting a little bit about what I wanted to do, what are some of the actions I want to take for the rest of 2020, right? Because right now, if you don't know, we have 60 days left to the end of the year, right? It's not a lot, right? It's 60 days left, right? And so I hope you know how important it is to really just go out and sprint and go make 2020 a crazy and good one. So one of the big things, right, I learned from this article called I got reminded of this article from this guy called Li Ka-shing, right? He's a huge billionaire, right? For those who didn't know, right? He's an Asian, he's Chinese, right? And he has a very good article that I'm going to share over here for you. But before that, let me just share my screen to show you about the one big thing that I want to do. Right, so like I said, guys, some of the things I'm sharing, right, might be what I call a common knowledge. Some of you might have read this article before, but one thing you got to realize is what is common knowledge, right? What is common knowledge is not common practice. What is common sense might not be common practice. So for those who be like, yeah, I heard from Li Ka-shing before, I know this advice, right? Ask yourself, have you really been doing it? And even if you have done it, before, you're still practicing, ask yourself, right? Always think about how you can give to other people. Can you share it with other people as well, right? Who cares? Can you advise? Who else can remind to do this tip that you can really do it? Okay, so this is a financial life advice from Li Ka-shing. So you can read the whole article. It's very good. I love this. This is one of the articles that I still keep to myself right now, right? That I still love it, and this is why I call it FIRE plan. But so he has this thing also that's very similar to the money jar system by Millionaire Mind Intensive, right? So whatever money income is divided in 5 sets of funds. Remember, it's not about the amount; it's about the habit and about the percentage. Remember, just allocating it. Right, so obviously there's living expenses, right? Be basic stuff like that. But one thing I want to put, right, is this one quick saying here, right, which I'm just going to highlight here, right, which is, right, one part of your fund, right, should actually be for making friends and expanding your interpersonal circle, right? So budget your familiar to a minimum, right? It's not about calling your friends, but every month, take 2 people out to lunch and dinner and pay for them. So who are these two people that you want to take out to lunch, dinner, meet with every single day, every single month, right? Those who are wiser than you, richer than you, have helped you along your career. So these are people who I call your mentors, right? People who have guided you, people with more experience than you, right? And make sure you buy lunches and dinners for people who allow it. But most of you might be thinking, right, they have more money than me, they are richer than me. Why would I want to do that, right? Because, right, it's not about the fact that you are treating them and that they get to save money. It's about the principle that you appreciate their efforts, you understand their influence, you understand that their value they have, and you are showcasing, you're showing your appreciation, you're giving a gesture of appreciation, right, for them to be able to meet with you, to support you, and give you a one-to-one. Okay, so when you do this, right, so what you do this, if you do this once every month, right, 2 times 12, 24 people a month, right, 24 people a year, you can actually build up your influence, you build up collaboration, but people take notice of you. Right? People take notice of you, you can take photos, you can share, do whatever you can, but people will like, oh, okay, this guy is pretty serious, this guy is pretty cool, right? And obviously, this is just one of the overall strategy of good, which is that you must be better at your skill, you must give people, you must help people that might be a bit more less experienced than you. But ultimately, right, this is one thing that I want to do a bit more, which is to expand my interpersonal circle, right? Building up collaborations, meeting with people, learning from them one-on-one, right? And I'll be more than happy to willing to treat, right, these people. And it's not for me to, what I say, to only take advantage of people, right? I just want to give a quick sensing of the context. It's not about me taking advantage of people, wanting to only find people richer than me. No, right? For people who are same level as me, I'll be more than happy to buy lunch and dinner, for example. People who are not be less experienced, but my focus is about how I can give more value to them. How can I give by teaching, by sharing, having one-to-ones as well? But this is something I need to prioritize for myself as well, which is how can I meet people who might be at a much better, much higher, much more experienced state than me that I can potentially learn from, so I can have to achieve my intention of finding and giving more value from people, right? So that's just something I'm gonna do, right? So guys, if you like this part, if you actually committed to right, setting aside some money, right, bringing up to people who might be much wiser, much richer, help you along your career, right? Just have me type me in the chat, right? And also I know what you can do. Okay, right? This is a great article. I'll just share you the link as well. But I think number one is, of course, to set your funds to learn. I think this is something that the people who are comfortable, people who don't understand the importance of self-education might laugh at this. Right? Say, hey, what do you need to learn? You already went to university, right? You can read a book, you can watch an article, go YouTube, right? You know, I think some of you in Singapore, you know what's going on, right? But right, my take is always still set aside funds, set aside time, effort, energy, so you can learn and continually upgrade yourself, right? Like I said, for example, Warren Buffett once attended the Dale Carnegie's public speaking course. Okay, next one, traveling. This is for you to be out, expose yourself. Of course, after that is for investing. Okay, so this, to me, this is not as comprehensive as the Millionaire Mind Intensive, the JAR system, but I love what I thought about making friends and expanding your interpersonal circle, right? And of course, to set some funds to learn as well. Okay, so this is a great article. Let me just share it over here for you guys. All right. Stop my screen. All right, just going to post it here. Right, just going to put it. Okay, right. Just, if you like it, just type me, right? I mean, like this post. That's it. For those, if you find some value, you share this post as well, right? It means so much to me because I really want more people to learn, right? And just half an hour every single week, just half an hour, right? Just some good actionable tips that they can use, right? They can move their life forward. Okay, so that is my third tip, right? So invest in relationships, right? Invest in people who might be much more bigger, better, right? Richer than you, right? With the ultimate aim of serving value. And so whatever you learn, you can share as well, right? So one big example I also want to share, right, is, when Warren Buffett met, I think this China crypto guy last year, I forgot, or this year, right? I think it's this year, right? I forgot what's his name, Son or something like that, right? He spent $4 million, right? I think or less or whatever, 3.8, right? To meet Warren Buffett, but he actually shared his entire experience by Medium, right? Via Medium, by article, and it got shared so widely. And when you get more value, you also receive much more value in multiple ways. Because of that, he got a lot more coverage. People knew him, people thanked him, and I'm sure he got a lot of business opportunities based on that as well. Okay, so he said, hey, right? For example, you can have a meal with for example, you can meet with, let's say, Sean Xia, for example, right? Someone that I look up to, right? And you have a one-to-one, treat him lunch, for example, right? If you can get him, right, for example, right? And after the meal, right, don't just keep the information to yourself. Share with people. Post on social media, right? I tell you, people are going to thank you. People are going to appreciate you for what you have done. And that's how you also position yourself in multiple ways as well. All right, so next one, right? Next one, I'm going to talk a bit about fundraising for holidays, because why the holidays are coming, right? And obviously, you want to take some time to not just think about ourselves or families, but hey, some people who might be a bit more needy, some people who might need a bit more support as well. And one thing I would do right? So one thing I would do, right, is if you want to do some form of fundraising, like I think some of you know about giving.sg, do your own fundraising campaign, right, is to not just ask and seek for charity, right? This is my personal opinion. Some people might find it a bit controversial, some people might not like it, but just sharing you my own personal thoughts on it, right? Because recently I saw a few launching some fundraising campaigns which I love, which I want to support, which are what I've supported, right? But I just want to remind people that ultimately, right, I'm not saying that humans are bad or selfish, but right, if you really want to achieve your aim of, let's say, getting more funds, getting more support, getting more eyeballs to it, right, you got to think like a marketer, which is how can you craft an offer to incentivize people to buy as well. So a lot of charities and NGOs, right, they think just by the simple act of saying, I'm a non-profit, I'm a charity, I'm an NGO, you should donate to me. You should support me. Just because of it, I'm an NGO, you got to do it because why? If not, you look bad. If not, you're not saving the world. If not, right, you're not changing the world, right? But if you actually can do a simple thing like crafting an offer, right? Crafting an offer that makes sense to the people you want to promote the charity or donation to, right? Give them something that answers the question of their more rational animal mind. What is in for me? Right? What are the specific benefits I can get besides feeling good? Right? Because all these are intangibles. What are the specific things I can do, right? That can raise the funds. So very quickly, there was an example. I think earlier this year, Haziq raised funds, right, for the Despite Dementia program, right? Instead of just saying, guys, right, this is something I want to support. Please support me, right? I would love you. And his intentions are great and all, right? But what I advised him, right? What we worked together was to actually craft an offer. Say if you donate, I think even a $5 or $10 or $1, I forgot how the exact amount, right? If you just donate just this certain amount, you also gain access to a free habits masterclass, right? That you can use for yourself. So you gave them not only a feel good factor of wanting to help contribute to a social movement, for example, right? But on the other hand, right, you also gave them a specific thing that gave them a specific direct benefit, right, that can really help them support. So my take is, if you know of anybody or if you want to do some form of fundraising, right, support, right, that's something you can think about, right? Instead of just saying, hey, please help me, right? I'm supporting this, right? These people are in need. Yes, it's important, right? I'm not saying it's important, right? But I'm just thinking about how can make me more effective, right? Which is crafting an offer aligned to that. So what I can do is even work with like potential influencers, people who are maybe give a benefit, and just say, hey, right, Mr. A, I do not need you to support with your money, right? I just want you to put your name there and say, whoever who donates this, right, you can give, whether it's a free ebook, a free training, a free video stuff, right, to really incentivize more people to sign up. And so what I call a win-win relationship. Okay, so there's a few things I want to share, right? A few things I want to share. I hope you guys got some value, right? It's a quick 18-minute sharing. It's not even 30 minutes yet, so that's great, right? But I thought these are some quick lessons that you can use for yourself moving forward as you move on to the rest of 2020, right? So we have 60 days left, right? We have 60 days left. If you have any questions about your own personal priorities, your own personal life, let me know, put it in the comments, right? I'll be more than happy to see how I can answer them, right? But with that, let me just take a drink of water. Just let me know, guys, for those who are listening, what you think of the sharing so far, and I'll share a bit more about my personal take on the US elections right after. Okay, right. I think I talk a bit fast, yeah. I need to remember myself to talk a bit slower as well. Okay, right. So it's 8:49. Right, we have about 11 minutes. If you have any questions, feel free to shoot them. Right, we have a small, cozy little group today. I see we have about 13 people sharing, so that's completely fine. Right, so if anything, just drop them in a DM. I'll be there to help you out. Okay. All right. So regards to the elections right now, obviously, I don't follow it very actively, right? But I know that some people say that Biden has a much bigger chance to win, right? While some people say no, Donald Trump is going to win, right? For me, right, I think most of you know that most of you know that I don't really follow elections very closely, right? And either way, whether Biden wins or Trump wins, right, in the long run, right, in my opinion, in the long run, right, it doesn't matter, because the companies that will do well, right, the companies that do well will continue to do well, right? So the companies I've invested in, right, right, some of you have heard of it before through my Zoom sharing, right? If you want to follow me, right, let me just put it in the Facebook comments over here. If you want to follow my Telegram channel, right, t.me, right, get Bucks with Marc, right? So I think most Yeah, I think most of you might be inside, but just for those who haven't, right, got Bucks with Marc. And so what happened is, I'm just going to focus on, right now I have two, in my option strategies, right, my options, I'm actually taking out a bit more cash, right? So whatever happens, if there's market down, I'll still be able to invest in it, very simply, right? If the market goes up, let's say Trump wins and stuff like that, right? And then I'm fine because I still have my stocks and some options, right, to grow for it. So to me, right, I'm using investing as a way to plan out, right, some of the things that I've been talking about very often, right? Instead, like with my post where I shared earlier today, right, instead of trying to predict who will win, Donald Trump, Joe Biden, and stuff, right? Yes, you can make money by predicting correctly, right? But there's a good chance you'll be wrong as well, right? So the thing is, instead of trying to be a predictor, right, I rather control my own future. That say that no matter what, whether the market goes down, whether the market goes up, I'll still be happy. So a few things, right? A few things is firstly, doing your portfolio sizing, right? Portfolio sizing, anticipating what will happen, right? So knowing, for example, if SPY, if the market drops by 5%, I'll buy this. If it drops by 10%, I'll buy this. If it drops by 15%, I'll buy this, right? Diversifying your sectors as well. I think a lot of people are, yes, they're over diversified in tech sectors. That's totally fine. What's tech? I know will grow. But are there some other sectors that can potentially support you as well? Just something to think about. So sectors, there's also in like many sectors, like B2B SaaS, right? Stuff like that. But can you think of maybe some particular industries in terms of your sectors as well? So just something to think about, right? And so what I do is I really set myself up for success regardless of the market direction, right? So that's just my take, right? I'm not a trader, right? And I'm not giving financial advice, but I share with you exactly what I will do. So all the companies I'm investing in right now, right? All the companies I'm investing in right now are things that I'm more than willing to hold for the next 3 to 5 years. So one final quick tip, right? Before, if you have any questions, I'll be more than happy to answer them, right? One final quick tip is go on a blank piece of note. Open up a blank piece of note, right? Whether it's a notes app, right? Whether it's your own personal Telegram channel or whatever, right? Blank piece of note, write down every specific company you're vested in right now, whether it's an option, whether it's a stock, whether it's a selling put, right? Write down every single position you have, right? So don't look at the P&L, don't look at the P&L open, right? Don't look at stuff like that. And then just ask yourself, right? Are these really the positions, right? Are these really the positions you see yourself holding for the next at least 2 to 3 years, right? At least, right? I'm not thinking like 5, 10 years, but at least you see, right? So especially for a longer call position, a sell put position, a stop position, are these really the ones? Because I realize that a lot of people, right, they do things because they're just following blindly. They don't have conviction, right? And so, and when they see the P&L loss, they see a rate, they start panicking inside. But when you take out all the losses, you take out all the profits and losses, you take out all the things, right? Look at the company itself, right? Actually, a lot of you might feel a lot more calm. A lot of you might feel a bit more grounded, right? Because you're not looking at the profits and loss on a short term anymore. You're looking on the company itself. Are these companies that I'm proud? Are these companies that I'm actually happy to be an investor, that I'm actually happy to be part of, right? So guys, let me type yes, right? Let me type yes if you understand what I'm talking about. Actually resonate with whatever the tip I just shared, because I feel that could be a very good tip, right? To overcome what I call the gambler's mindset. A lot of traders, a lot of investors have what I call a trader's mindset, because they're always trying to pray and predict, right? They're always trying to pray and predict about what, how the market is going to be like. But my thing is, you can't really predict, right? The thing is, you predict wrongly, right? You predict wrongly, you will just feel like, oh shit, man, I can't. If I predict correctly, some of you might feel, shit, I could have invested more. So either way, you're not going to feel good. So that's my take. Instead of trying to predict, right, I would want to maximize my profits either way. Of course, you have a slight leaning towards whatever, right? I think some of you might know, for example, if it's Joe Biden, right, maybe environmental might do a bit better, right? For example, right? But if it's for Donald Trump company, for example, right, what sort of sectors might do better as well? So I'm going to give, let me just open up my notes here, right? Because I still have 6 more minutes. All right, so so Joe Biden, I think, is a bit more into environment, right? Infrastructure, right? Drug. I think it wouldn't be very good for drug companies, right? Because I think under Democrats, they're a bit more they're a bit more like going against all these drug companies trying to what I call exploit the consumers, right? It could be good for cannabis. I think they're a bit more open, right? Stuff like that. But I think if Joe Biden has taken big tech, right? All the big technology companies might be slightly affected as well. So these are just some things to watch out for, right? About what happens if the market goes down, if Joe Biden wins and stuff like that. All right, guys, I have about 5 more minutes before 9 p.m. before I go for my my dinner, right? Any last questions I can help with, right? For those about 12 or 13 of you who are watching this, we have a good, small little cozy group today, so that's fine, right? But if you have any questions, feel free to put them here, right? If not, I'll end off the session in just 5 minutes time. Okay, right. So guys, if you enjoyed the sharing, can just maybe type yes or have me share one of the biggest takeaways, right? So I think I like Rodrigo put over here. I like the invest in relationship sharing. I'll definitely start doing great. You can put it out in your action, schedule it, whatever you did, do it, right? But yeah. So Rodrigo just recently came with my 2 days masterclass. So for those interested, drop me a DM. I'll be able to share with you some more insights as well. Oh yes, right. So this Thursday, right? So this Thursday, I'm going to share some of my biggest lessons, right? That I've accumulated over the past couple of years, right? This Thursday, 8 p.m., right? I think about take a 1 hour or so, but I'll go deep into some of my thoughts, right? Some of the biggest lessons that people can use and apply for themselves moving forward. So if you like it, right? If you like whatever I've been sharing over the past 1 year or so, right? Whether it's through my normal overload training, through my random sharings, if you've attended Extreme Wealth Summit, Uncaged Summit, right? You like my sharing every now and then, my Kickstart training, for example, my Facebook post, you like it, right? This Thursday, right, I'll be sharing some of my biggest lessons that I've accumulated over the years that can really help you move you forward. Because ultimately, I still feel right now, I did a recent survey, people are still feeling burnt out, people are still feeling overwhelmed. But ironically, right, people are burnt out and all, but they still feel that they're not doing enough. They still feel they're not being as effective. So there's a huge gap between what you actually need to do and what you actually should do. Right? What actually have you been doing and what actually should you be doing? So there's a big misgap because people are getting tired doing the wrong things. So it's like, for example, I want to get from here in Singapore, right? I want to drive to Thailand, right? I want to get to Thailand, but instead of taking a plane, instead of even walking there, right? I give my example. Instead of walking there, I'm actually running a freaking treadmill hoping to get into Thailand. I'm not doing the right thing at all, right? I'm writing in rounds. I'm walking towards Malaysia. I'm walking towards Pulau Ubin instead of trying to get to the right direction. So I might be moving, I might be taking action. That's important, but not be taking the right, most effective action as well. Right, hi, Celine. All right, nice to know you. All right, find a thing I can do every day on top of something I can do every. Find a thing that I can do every day. Yes, yeah. So for example, right, instead of you say you want to get better at exercise, right? Instead of are there things that might potentially do every single day? It doesn't have to be a big thing, but sometimes it's a small little consistent actions that actually build you there, right? There's this thing called the 1% rule by James Clear, right? Which is that if you just get 1% better, right, every single day, right, by the end of the year, you are 37 times better than where you first started. 37 times. But if you're 1% worse every single day, by the end of the year, you're actually 0.03 of where you get first started. So that's the importance, that's the power of what I call the compound effect. So do not discount the small actions. Of course, big events like UPW, attending a program, stuff like that helps, it supports you, but do not discount the importance of everyday single actions to move you forward. So thanks for sharing, right? And with that, we have 2 more minutes before the end, and then before I sign out for my dinner. Okay. Do you all know that UK did a lockdown? I think you guys know, right? UK did a lockdown. I think it was announced a while ago. I think it was Jericho that shared with me, right? So yeah, just something to watch out. UK is locking down as well. So what's going to happen in the markets? And probably doesn't look very pretty for the next couple of days. Yeah. A quick tick. Okay, 2 more minutes before I end off the sharing. Right, guys, do you all enjoy the sharing for those who are here? Right, can you just help me type yes if you enjoyed it? All right, thanks, Christina. All right, if you guys enjoy the sharing, just let me type yes in the chat. All right, let me type yes in the chat. All right, I hope you guys like this every single Monday session. And I'll be doing a very quick survey to find out more about what you would like me to talk about. Right, I think that's just want to get a poll over here. Right, just what would you like me to talk more about? Right, in the next couple of weeks, and so I can really serve and give as much value as possible. Hi Chiao, hi Wallets, what's up? Right, glad you guys enjoyed the sharing. All right, and yeah, I think I'll be signing off in a very short. My pleasure, Xiongboon. What's up? Thanks for sharing the Circles Live link. Right, that's great, Rodrigo. Right, Celine, that's great. Okay, so I think with that, I'm probably going to end off the sharing. Right, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. Right, so guys, if you haven't joined my group, let me just share with you my group for you guys to enjoy, for you guys to add in, and then I am going off. All right, 9 p.m. My dog is barking. Maybe it's an alarm. Nope, it's a real dog. Okay, bye everyone. See you guys soon for the next segment, next Mastery Monday, and I'll see you guys very soon. Bye everyone.